Hello you, and welcome to Vanilla Railroad for Beginners and Factorio version 0.17. This is episode 13, the one where we get military science. My name is Satchmo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to my 30-minute intro. I need to grab a couple things before we can build our science factory. I need some more belts, I need some more inserters. I increased the limiter on those inserters because I think I'm about to get bottlenecked with that. Or not bottlenecks, but like I'm gonna need more coming up. In fact, I'll probably need more of these too. Excuse me. Grab these while I'm thinking about it. And something I'm noticing, look at that. The train, I bet some of you noticed that already. The train is not connected. In fact, if I zoom over there with the map view, it's probably telling me, yep, it's probably telling me no path. So let's talk about that real quick before I get military started. Excuse me. I need to get this out of my throat. So the train, when it's doing its signaling, it's pathing. Obviously, if there is no connecting path between where it is and where it needs to be, it'll give you the no path. It'll also give you the no path if there is an error with the signals ahead of it. Now, we haven't got the signals yet, and we still won't for a little while, but essentially, I'm sorry, my cat's rummaging around in the back. If there's a problem with the if the problem with the signals, if the train's kind of confused as to where it can go and where it can't go, then it'll give you this no path warning. So that's all there is to it. That's all I want to say about that. You'll see more of that in the future. I'll try not to get killed by this train as I see it depart the station. There it is. Bye. Yeah, see, as soon as I connected this, it was like, oh, there is a path. And so he runs off. So we solved that problem. I should have grabbed more of these. I could have filled that in. Yeah. Alright, say lovey. Let's do a little bit of inventory management, and then I'll build the military science factory. A couple of plans for the future. I'm going to soon, I'll handle this in a second. I'm going to soon put my green circuits right here, right at the start of the bus. I don't want to I have a lot of things building green circuits down in the factory, like on site, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I will eventually move that down to where the coal is now. But unfortunately, today is not that day. I need to get solar before I do that. You need the coal too. Iron can go in this guy. What else? Excuse me. That's fine. There's a box up here I can dump some stuff down in. I can dump my wood off. I can dump the personal batteries. I can destroy that. I'll just get it out of my inventory for now. Batteries can go away. Oh, I'm gonna have to... Well, it's alright. These I could put in that symbol over there. Okay, let's do that. Take you and feed you these. Any other things that become ingredients? Oh, these. I can get these out of my inventory. Stone furnaces. I probably won't be ever using stone furnaces again. Oh, well, you know what I can do? Stone furnaces are... No, they're not. What am I thinking? I was about to put them in here. They're an ingredient in burner mining drills, not electric mining drills, clearly. But those in there, this will probably just get destroyed. Not these, but a lot of this will probably just get destroyed here later. I'm going to do a little bit of inventory tidying. Let's see. I want to get military science because I need to... I want to get a rocket launcher and rockets. So that way I can destroy the biters with those, because that would be a lot of fun. And it's pretty efficient. It's a pretty efficient way to do it. But, let's say to do that I need military science. So, we can get started on working on that momentarily. I'm just trying to focus on this while I do it. If the box is limited with these red squares, then you can't just like control click things in there. Or if there is a way, I'm not aware of it. because it pretends that the box isn't big enough to hold it. So that's why I'm not just control clicking these items in there. Pumps. I have 20 pumps I can get rid of. Please excuse the dogs barking in the background. This copper can go on a copper wire factory right here. Okay, well this is good enough. This is good enough for now. Gotta get a little bit of inventory. Alright, let's get some research set up and we'll talk about that. I've realized that I'm setting this up as kind of a playthrough for beginners, but when I come to the research tree here, I kind of just like click on things and move away, and I've realized that that's not, I realized I've been doing it without talking about it and probably leaving people in the dark a little bit. Some of the beginners anyway, so I'm going to take a little bit more, well first off, I apologize for that. Second is I'm going to take a little bit more time to explain exactly what I'm doing. So right now I just want to get something researched while I build military, so I'm going to pick something, relatively small. Here's stack inserter, I can do that. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to make stack inserters, which pick up multiple items at once, as opposed to the other inserters, which just move one item at a time. And the stack filter inserter does the same thing, but of course it can filter items, so it can you can say only pick up these items if they pass by you. And then of course the stack inserter capacity bonus. There are multiple of these, so the things can stack more and more over time. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab projectile damage, which is just going to make my ammo more efficient. Or more effective, I should say. And then let's grab lab research speed. And that's just going to make the research, what I'm doing right now, just go faster. Okay, next order of business. Military science packs. Each recipe creates 2. It takes 10 seconds, and it requires 1 piercing round magazine, 1 grenade, and 2 walls. I'm producing grenades here and ammo here. Why am I producing this many grenades? Oh wow, yeah, that's too much. I'll just cap you off at the end of the stack, since you only need 6 more. I guess I forgot to cap that off. How about you? Okay. Anyway, although I'm producing 2 of those items here already, it would be kind of a hassle to convert this into a science factory. It would be too big, and I'm going to leave this alone because I want to be able to come back here and just grab out of this box and grab out of that box and move on. So, but I will benefit from these items already being pulled off of the bus. Or I should say, I would be remiss if I didn't, use that as a benefit. So let me just go ahead and pull those ingredients off, and I'll start on my next factory. There we go. Good enough. Alright, let's talk a little bit about ratios, because we haven't discussed ratios too much in this game. I'm going to show you a spreadsheet that I use to calculate my ratios, and a website that you can use to calculate yours if you so choose. So remember these numbers: 2 military science packs every 10 seconds, 1 piercing round, 1 grenade, 2 walls. Let's go to Excel. Here's the thing that it's still a work in progress, but it works well enough to use today. Here's a spreadsheet that I use that calculates these numbers for me. I'll use it and then describe what I'm doing as I go. So military science, I think I misspelled that, M-I-L-I-T, whatever. Yeah, maybe I didn't. Military science, it produces 2 at a time, takes 10 seconds, and desired per minute. How many do we want a minute? Let's go with 60, so it's 1 a second. Requirement 1 is the ammo. You need 1 per cycle. A factory produces ammo 1 at a time, and it crafts in 3 seconds. Requirement 2 is grenades. You need 1 of those per cycle of military science. You produce 1 of them at a time, and it takes 8 seconds. And requirement 3 is walls. You need 1 of those. It produces 1 at a time, and the craft time is half a second. So, while I was doing all that, this area here was populating. This is the brains of the whole operation. It tells me that military science, crafting at a speed of 1, I would need 5 to give me 60 a minute. Ammo, I'm going to need 3. Grenades I'm going to need 8, and walls I'm going to need half. Of course, half rounds up to 1. You can't make half an assembler, so 1. So I'll be overproducing walls by a good little bit. If I were to move this desired minute up, say, I don't know, 80, if I wanted to make 80, you see the numbers that go up to reflect that. If I wanted to make 120, of course, it'd be double what it was earlier. So you can move that around. You can also move the craft speed around. If I were crafting, let's say if I had some modules in here and it was crafting at a speed of 1.5, then all these numbers would change to reflect that. As it is right now, I'm actually not crafting at a speed of 1. I'm crafting at a speed of 0.75, but I'm going to use 1 because it's a nice round number. So, how does all this work? Well, first off, we'll go from the inner parentheses to the outer parentheses. But here's the formula right here. 60 divided by d3. So that's 60 seconds in a minute divided by how many seconds per each cycle. So it's just converting the seconds to minutes here. Or portions of a minute, I should say. And then that number is multiplied by C3, which is the number that's actually being produced, because some factories make one item at a time, some make more. And then that is multiplied by C13, which is productivity, your speed. And then all of that is the divisor of E3, which is how many you want per minute. So 60 a minute divided by all of this mess right here gives you how many factories you need. The rest of it, the equals if error and the quotation marks over here are just to blank out cells that I'm not using, so they don't give me divided by 0 errors. So anyway, that's how this works. It's still a work in progress. I need to add it for the rest of the rows and everything else if I need to, or I like to make it just a little bit more robust than it is. But for now, this does what I need it to do. If you need more, you come here, kirkmcdonald.github.io. I think there are several of these online, but this is the one that I always use. This guy did a really good job. It does the same thing, but it's far more robust. It gives you, you pick any item in the game, it automatically has the production requirements and the speeds and everything else already built in. That's a terrible example. If you go into visualize, it gives you kind of a flow chart all the way down to like how many miners you need mining the requisite amount of ore to produce that amount of output. So yeah, this is a great one. kirkmcdonald.github.io. Really great website. But ultimately, it does what I did with my my little spreadsheet. So anyway, version aside, just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about that, if you were unaware. Let's see. So let's start building it. I need firearm magazines. I need long hand inserters to reach all the way over here. And this guy produces pretty fast, so I'm going to use several inserters to make sure that I get enough stuff. You're going to output here. And 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use these underground belts to go underneath the factories, so I don't have to do another one on the side, and use more long-handed inserters. So you can grab from there, you can grab from there, you can grab from there. There we go. You are piercing rounds. So that's my 3. Remember, I needed 3 factories producing piercing rounds. These are they. They can output this way, go up. I also need inputs. There we go. Cool. Next, I needed 8 factories of grenades. So 1, skip 1 for the thing here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Turn you all into grenades. Carry this down. Input on one side, output on the other will do. There we go. And then I'll merge these two. There we go. Are you guys all working? They are. It's coming. Let's go ahead and get lamps up while I'm thinking about it. Just a little bit light. There we go. So we have two of the three requirements we need on the line: grenades and red ammo, piercing ammo. Move that down. And then the other one that we needed was walls. Now, with three requirements, of course, each bolt has 2 lanes. So that means with 2 bolts, there's going to be an empty lane. So I'm going to use that empty lane to produce the... let me think about this just for a moment. Let's put it... Nah, that's alright. I'm going to use that empty lane to put the product onto, to put the science packs. So these walls, you need 2 of them. It makes 2 per second. Was that right? No, I'm sorry. It makes 1 per half. Yeah, it does make 2 per second. But what I'm trying to say is it consumes 5, so it consumes 10 a second. So that's pretty quick. So I'm going to use a couple of these inserters, or 3 of them, to give me the amount that I need. So I'm going to do them like that. Also, I have this line right here of stone from earlier that was kind of misplaced here from way back when. I'm going to go ahead and drain this, and then I'll move it over to this one, which is actually where the stone's going to eventually come in. Alright. And let's also think about the military factories themselves, right? I needed 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Power them, assign them. Cool. Their output on this side. Input the walls that are coming. And they need a long-handed to grab from this middle belt here. Okay. Now I didn't connect this together because I need to think about something. If I were to put this guy down right here, he would output on the far side of the belt, which is also where these guys want to output. So what I need to do is, he is going to go here, but immediately it's going to turn, and it's going to come down like that. So even though he puts it on the outside, I can kind of turn it around so it comes on the inside. So now these guys will put it on the outside. Does that make sense? I think it's pretty clear what's happening here. That's like the most concise way that I can think to do this. And let's take out the extra. I don't need all that extra. Really don't need all this extra either, but I'll leave it. There we go. Here they come. Gray science. Military science. Let's use the trick from earlier to filter. Like that. Now the science is only on 1 lane still, because it's coming on this bottom lane and going onto the right lane. So I'm going to use a splitter to merge these. There it is. Now I have 2 lanes of military science. Something to think about here is if you were trying to see how these science are going on from our perspective, on the top, and I want them to go on top and bottom. When you're placing this thing down, think about your input. What I'm trying to say is, if there's something on the top right here, and you need to go on the bottom, then place the splitter like that, as opposed to like that. I think this should make sense. This one it'll make a full lane, or if I gotta switch before I fill it out. Doing that. There we go. This one will make the top a full lane over here, and this one will make the bottom a full lane over here. I think that makes sense. So right here, I'm using this orientation because this was only a top and I wanted it to be on both sides. There you go. Cool. Now I need to feed this into my labs. My labs are way too far down. Way too far south. I want to move them up here so they're a little bit more central to the base. Those can be pretty easily moved. So let me grab up some grenades and I'll blow this forest up. I'm going to do a little Crocodile Dundee style deforestation before we move on. Notice I did color my character green. And while I'm doing this kind of somewhat tedious task, although it is pleasant to look at, I'll tell you a quick story about the channel. I released my first 8 or 12 episodes. I forget what order they came in. I mean, I know 8. I mean, I don't remember when I released which ones. Doesn't matter. My first handful of episodes, and I had like 5 viewers for about a month. And those were like friends and family, which is to be expected, on YouTube. And then the other day I posted to Reddit, the Factorio subreddit, which is a great community. Of course, as per their community guidelines, they only want you posting once per Let's Play series. Oops, I'm out of ammo. That's fine. This is enough room. They only want you posting once per Let's Play series, which makes perfect sense. They don't want people like spamming, this YouTube content, all of this stuff. That worked out perfectly. Let's put this here. Put that. There we go. So I had been waiting until I got a significant amount of videos up, but I didn't want to just like post right away. With video 1 that I had new content, or that I was a new channel or whatever else. So anyway, I waited until I had like 8 or 12 and posted them. And in the last 2 days, that was 2 days ago, and in the last 2 days, I got several hundred views. So, hi. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Want to say a special thank you if you came from Reddit. That seems to be really what got the ball rolling here, so I really appreciate that. The Reddit community is fantastic. The Reddit, Factorio community is fantastic. And, I really appreciate you guys being supportive. So, that's all I wanted to say, but just thank you for that. It's pretty cool to see those numbers increase, drastically by my estimations, by my, what I was expecting. So, anyway, thanks. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Let me know what you think. Always looking for suggestions and feedback. Alright, let's move that. There. Cool. Military. In the laboratories. I think I have some in my inventory now. I do. You eat that. You eat that. Cool. There we go. Military science. Now I'm gonna stop researching that briefly because I really want to get rocketry out of the way, and then I'll go back to that. And just before I forget, so the rocketry here is going to allow me to get rocket launcher and rockets themselves with the ammo for the rocket launcher. Of course, the lab research speed we already talked about. A couple other things I can do: physical projectile damage. That's pretty clear. It's just going to make the gun stronger. Inserter capacity bonus. This essentially turns your regular inserters into stack inserters, but to a much less degree. What else? At this point, it doesn't really matter what you get. Stronger explosives would be good. That's going to make my grenades stronger. Mining productivity. That's going to increase how quickly... it's going to make them produce more ore per cycle. Cool. There we go. 25 minutes into the video. A couple tidying things to do, and then we'll save the rest of what I was going to do for the next video. I do want belts on the bus. I'm sorry, I do want batteries on the bus, but I don't want this guy to do it. That was just a little bit nearsighted for me, so I'm going to rip him up and put those batteries in a box down there. Just a little bit nearsighted. I want to do this whole area a little bit better, but like I say, I'm confined by this mountain range here, the cliffs of Dover here. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to make some cliff explosives, and that's going to be like a little temporary setup, but just to blow stuff out of the way, and then I'm going to expand all of this. Part of that expansion, like I mentioned earlier, is putting circuits, or I think I mentioned earlier, putting circuits here once I get the coal out of the way, so that way circuits are at the front of the bus, and that's going to help out a lot, because then I can use all of this area on the right. So, yeah. One other thing. Sulfur. Do I need... Sulfur makes sulfuric acid for the batteries and stuff. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do and this will be the last thing I do for this episode. I'm actually going to I'll put more stuff on the bus than most people. I'm aware of that. I think I'm also going to put sulfur on the bus. I am indeed. I'm going to put sulfur on the bus. Yeah, we'll do that next episode. Because I kind of ran into this problem. I tried to record this episode once already and failed. For several reasons. Most of them beyond my control. But anyway, I want to put sulfur on the bus because I think it's going to make things easier. Also coal. Yeah, I can make explosives in like a factory all by itself. And that'll just be better for everybody all the way around. So I'm going to probably rip you up too. So anyway, we'll do that next episode. We're going to fix up some of our chemicals on the bus, and we're going to make our cliff explosives to clean this out of the way. And then we can start working on building the rockets and building our solar panels. All of that is going to be built. So that's going to be my goal for next episode, rockets and solar panel factory by the end of the episode. As for this episode, thank you very much. Let me walk over here so I can get a look at our handiwork. Oh, one more thing about this is that this is not a tileable, clearly, it's not a tileable build. Oh yeah, you're empty. Because of this. Just for now. I'll do that for now. I'll fix it later. Okay, there we go. This is not a tileable build. That is to say you can't just copy this and put another one down and make more. Because the belts are going all different directions. But this is expandable. So like I could put more grenades out here, I could put more ammo out here, I could put more science. I'd have to rework a little bit, but for the most part, it's expandable. So, just something to keep in mind. I wanted to build this with a specific number in mind, 60 science per minute. So, I wasn't terribly concerned with, with making it tileable or anything like that. So, in your base building, keep in mind exactly what your goals are, and that will inform your design decisions. So, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Let me know in the comments how I'm doing, right? Just to say hi. I don't care if you talk about coffee or cake or cheese or whatever you want to talk about. I think it'd be kind of cool just to have a conversation with people. So, with the people in the community, that is. So anyway, thanks again for being here. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next episode.